A very good evening, all of you. On behalf of Ishan Institute of Management and Technology, I, Dr. Tushar Arya, would like to welcome you all to our FDP on empowering managerial education, integrating AI in teaching and assessment. I'm very happy to share that out of more than 300 delegates who had registered for this FDP, we are witnessing an overall more than 85% attendance throughout the sessions. Today, we are on the fifth day of this session and we are receiving some amazing feedback. And we genuinely hope that you all are gaining good insights and practical knowledge through this faculty development program. Today, we have two very amazing speakers with us. Engineer Anupam Pandey, who has a very rich tech background, is running his own business, and Ms. Michelle Saya, who has international experience, who will be joining us from Lebanon. Thank you so much for joining us, and I would like to hand over to Deepak ji to take it from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to hand over to Rocky ma'am, please, to introduce Anupam sir.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rakhi Mandal, Assistant Professor at Ishan Institute of Management and Technology. Before we begin with the session, let me walk you through a few important guidelines. A Microsoft Form attendance link is shared in a WhatsApp group for every session, and participants are required to fill it using their registered ATAL details to ensure the mandatory 80% attendance, along with marking their attendance in the chat box by mentioning their name, designation, and institute. However, it has been observed that several participants have not marked their attendance in the Microsoft form as per their ATAL registration record. Hence, all the participants are requested to strictly use their same name, email ID, and phone number provided during ATAL registration to ensure their attendance is duly recorded. Please fill the feedback form shared in the group after each session. Now, moving ahead with today's session, I am honored to introduce our esteemed resource person for session 9 of day 5, Engineer Anupam Pandey. He is an experienced entrepreneur, product leader, technology expert with over 15 years of experience in building innovative products and leading technology ventures. He is the founder and CEO of Akvina Technologies Private Limited and has earlier worked in key roles such as Chief Technology Officer at Biz Info Techno Private Limited and Head of Product at Pursuit, where he contributed greatly to digital growth and product innovation. He has successfully delivered 10 plus market-ready products, led large teams, and worked on projects that improved performance and reduced cost. His strengths include project management, technology strategy, SaaS development, and his achievements have been recognized with awards like the Outstanding Leadership Award at the Internet 2.0 conference in 2022. Today, he will speaking on a very important topic, using AI agents in education. I am sure his idea will help us understanding how AI can make learning smarter and more effective. Please join me in welcoming Engineer Anupam Pandey.
Thank you, Rakhi. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
All right. So thanks a lot for the introduction. So basically, I wanted to plan this session to be not just about theoretical learning. I wanted it to be more interactive, where we are interacting with the participants also. so that we can exchange the ideas. And also, if we can develop something on the fly that can be helpful to everybody, which they can use themselves also. So there are few open source technologies tools that are there in the market. So we will be giving the exposure to that also, so that later on after the session or whenever they are free, they can work on creating something on their own on the basis of their ideas, so that they can use it in the classrooms or anywhere. Right. So I'll be sharing my screen. Just let me know once it is visible so that we can take it forward. So just let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
All right. So mostly, I think my background and the kind of work that I've done has been already shared by Rakiji. So just quick introduction. I have a total experience of 15 years. I started as a Java developer uh, after my engineering, and later on I moved into the product roles. And I have been throughout my experience, I have been part of the startups, multiple startup with which I have worked in into different solutions like developing ERP solutions or procurement solution. And later on, now I'm founder of Akvina Technologies, where we are mostly working in the space of data intelligence services. Now, what we call the data intelligence services is basically the combination of data engineering, uh, AI, data analytics, and the last leg is this data security, which right now we don't have any, capability into that, but that's the company's vision to develop that capability in the coming years. Now, this company was founded in 2020, and since then we have been working with the different clients across globe, US, UK, Middle East, and a few European countries, and we have been able to deliver some good work. And recently, based on the kind of how the whole market has been pivoting, we were able to enter into the space of agentic AI also, and we have been working with the financial clients and some of these kind of domain where we are delivering some agentic AI solution also. Now, coming to the session. So, like I told that I'll be planning this whole session into different section based on the learning that after the session we can learn something. So we are going to break the whole journey into a few key areas. We'll start with the foundation. So to build the ground to understand like what is the current understanding of ourselves into the space of agentic AI. And then we'll move into some practical application examples of agentic AI and specific to the education domain also, that how people are using and developing and what they are thinking into the space of education. And later on, we will be discussing the challenges that are there, limitations that are there, which has to be thought of to implement any solution that is there. And we'll be highlighting some best practices that you can follow to when you're planning to develop something on your own, because now developing something used to be a challenge earlier, but now it's not that a big challenge because there are a lot of tools there in the market. So for which, if you don't need to be a developer, if you are good in asking questions, then you can get some good output out of the those particular platforms. Now, this whole session will be into kind of presentation like we are discussing right now, and also into some, you can say, interactive discussion for which I'll be guiding you how we will be conducting that. And then we'll be developing some tools here on the call that you can understand and think of that how we can utilize them into your particular use case, you can say, that you plan. So this is a form link. Like if you can share it with the people in the call. And this is a simple form where you just have to write about your understanding. And based on that, we can discuss that what you understand right now. And based on that, we can create a roadmap for our whole session. So it doesn't need to be a very detailed understanding. I just need a couple of lines of how and what you think about agentic AI and how you can develop that, like write about it, something in 2 lines, basically. So I'll wait for 2 minutes, and if you can, Rakiji, please confirm when you share this link that is there in the PPT. If you want, I can also put it in the chat window that is there. I'm sharing it with everybody. Just give me a second. So I've pasted the link in the chat window. Please use it for submitting your responses, and I'll start looking into it. Thank you. So we have started receiving response. We have received 2 responses so far. All right. So we'll be continuing now. So we have received so far 9 responses. So we'll go into a few of them, and please feel free to join the call with me once I say the name. And I'll be mostly discussing with the kind of understanding that you have. So I think the first response that I received that is very well written is by Miss S. Swarnalata. Ma'am, I received a response. AI system that acts autonomously, adapts in real time and solves multi-step problem. That's very accurate answer that you have written. Um, yep, Pushpita ji, you are right on the direction where it's advanced form of traditional AI. Correct. That is also correct. Dr. Ranjini, that you have written correctly, self-reliant AI system which needs less human intervention, a step ahead of generative AI. Correct. Right. So thank you. We have started receiving responses, and that's very helpful. So uh, I'll just ask Miss Dr. Rajni if you can just share your thoughts over the call, because that was very uniquely written, that self-reliant AI system. So how you thought of that, if you can just share your insights here.
Hello. Am I
Hello,
audible, sir?
Dr. Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Sir,
evening,
what
ma'am.
just I thought, I heard a story in my childhood related to Akbar and Birbal, where some question was asked to Birbal that whose
Right,
marriage is going on. He went and he brought so many details from that marriage, whose marriage it was, who was the girl, then where this marriage function is going on. Many things he brought out. I thought that predictive or agentic AI is like that only. If I'm asking one question, it gets ready with my 10 further questions, which I haven't also asked. So without a
right,
human intervention, it brings out all the details with further analysis. So it makes my job quite easy.
right, right. So yeah, thank you for the very nice insight and rightly said. So now we'll start with the detailed about what we want to discuss. So basically, I will start with the how we have reached today. Okay. So in terms of AI, see, it is not a new thing that we are discussing today. It has been evolving over the period of last many years, I would say 70, 80 years. And when I was doing my engineering, there used to be a book of artificial intelligence where there was no mention of, although generative AI, but there was natural language processing. And I recently found that book while preparing for this session. And I found it that if I would have read that book at that time, that would have been very helpful for me in today's date also, and maybe I would have created something better in the past. So see, in 1950, it was the first what we can say that the thought was started. It used to be earlier, the all the calculations or everything that used to be done was by the humans only, and very advanced mathematicians were called the human computer. There is a movie also, if I'm not sure any one of you have seen it or not. It's Hidden Figures, which was basically based out of the same concept, human computers, where there was this lady who uh, create, predicted the trajectory for one of the NASA's project, and it was a manned project, so that's why it was very critical for having the correct calculations. So since that time, it has been evolving, and Alan Turing was the first person who came up with this concept where he proposed an idea of uh, machines that can think. Okay, and right now also you can see there are a lot of Turing test which is called to identify whether this particular two people, if they're interacting, and whether the one of them is AI or both of them are AI or robot. So it's identified using the Turing test. And in your normal life, you would have seen the captcha that comes when you try to log in, and at many places it asks to identify the images, like whether it's a bed, whether it's a car. So identify out of 6 images, which 4 images are of car, or which 4 images has a bed in it, or which 4 images has people riding a bicycle in it. So that's how the system identifies whether this particular person with whom we are interacting, whether it's a uh, I think I got went on mute by mistake. Sorry for that. So, like I was telling, so that's how we identify whether this particular person is a computer or a AI. So that's when the whole evolution started. And later on, the first time this particular artificial intelligence, this word was coined in the 1956 by in the Dartmouth conference by John McCarthy. And he was the first person who believed that there is something called artificial intelligence and it has to be pursued. The first chatbot, right now we are seeing a lot of places that there are chatbot there in the market which people are using. But if you look into it, the first chatbot was created in 1966, and which was kind of a conversational to used in the therapies uh, to identify and follow up, create the follow up questions that the communication between two people can be continued. So that was the first chatbot that was created in 1966. Then you would have seen in between there was a phase of AI winter, what we call, and it was mostly because of one of the uh, components which came from Sir James Lighthills, where he said that the kind of investment that is going into the AI technologies is not that being utilized or correctly delivered in the form. So which cut off all the funding that people were receiving at that time. And there was a very, you can say, a cool time where no much development was happening in the AI intelligence. But IBM came up with a great idea, and they developed this IBM's Deep Blue, which when I was a kid, I used to hear that computer was playing against Michael Kasparov, and it also defeated it later on, I think in later year 1997 in a rematch. But you can think of that at that time also, this whole thing was, we used to call it computer, but it was actually artificial intelligence, which was being trained in the background on the moves that are done in the chess and different kind of, you can say, the data was collected. Now, majorly earlier it used to be kind of a information based, but in 2000, when we entered into this new decade, you can say, uh, in 2000, the whole training and everything, the progress of the AI moved into data side. So that increased the computing requirement also, and there was a lot of development being done into the computing, like how we can create the infrastructure. So cloud computing, you can say, when it came earlier, used to be the rack of servers in the in-house. Anybody who has to develop something, they used to buy the infrastructure and then they have to deploy their models. But then later on, when the cloud computing came with AWS, Azure, different technologies, this whole thing become very cheap and easy to try something. And that's how the evolution got a very, very good support. So speech recognition, image recognition, different kind of technologies were evolved. Search engines came, Google came. You can say Amazon, the kind of Amazon when it started, it has a limited products, but it became recommendation engines were introduced to identify what kind of products you are using. So everything was AI in the background. And now after 2020, you have seen generative AI, GPTs, DeepSeek, Dell-E, now Gemini, which is introduced by the Google. So a lot of tools came in. So this whole progress has happened with an idea like how the computers can think. And that's what we'll be discussing in the agentic AI side. Like, what is agentic AI? So the question that I asked, the kind of, it majorly is divided into four categories, that how the whole agentic AI is thought of. So we used to write programs, we used to write codes that used to deliver something specific, what has to be done, like processing a function or identifying a particular, running an SQL query or anything. Like, but after, you can say that this whole traditional AI to the jump of agentic AI happened. Like, um, traditional AI mostly used to work as an automation tool. So when we used to develop automation scripts to test the applications. It was also kind of a robot which was testing the application without the manually being done by the developers. But this traditional, but that was only the script of code that is being run to test a particular screen. It was not thinking anything else. It was not doing anything apart from what it was asked to do. So first thing came was the autonomy. So agentic AI can function independently without the need of a constant supervision from any third party. Okay. So for example, you would have heard about the self-driving cars. So it doesn't wait for step to by step instruction by the person driving inside, like sitting inside the car, or anybody human, or remotely watching the car moving. It just senses the traffic conditions, the kind of marking on the road, uh, pedestrian marking is there, and adjust the speed based on whatever is coming in front of it. Okay. Now this level of independence is what makes it reliable and in fast changing environment. Okay. So the keyword environment is very, very, very important for the agentic AI, because how it behaves in the environment and how it interacts with the environment, that makes it more and more powerful and capable. Now, similarly, if we talk about education side, okay, think of an AI-powered grading assistant. So instead of teachers manually reviewing each and every assignment, the AI can independently grade the assignments, quizzes, and highlight the pattern of the mistakes, and flag which of the students need extra help. And the teachers can be free from like whole process of identifying, okay, we need to work on this particular person more based on the assessment, because small assessment, online assessment can very easily make us identify that particular student who need more attention. Like I was earlier when I was a student. I think in fourth or fifth, I used to be not that good into math, but I got a very good teacher who identified that I have a very strong, you can say, prospect in learning mathematics. And she identified me out of the class and taught me into some good sessions, how I can use the mathematics, how I can do. And later on, I used to score full marks into maths. And even in my college, I think first year I was the college, I scored highest mark in my college in mathematics. So a small change in my environment done by my teacher gave me a leverage. Like now I understand the numbers much in a better manner. Now the second point is goal orientation. Uh, like I was telling about the whole systems which we used to develop to test the applications, like automation testing script, like I was telling. So these older systems, they were just executing the commands that were written in them. They were not doing anything else. But agentic AI, we give them an objective, uh, and it tries to deliver it by itself without giving them the whole roadmap that how that particular this agent has to reach the endpoint. For this, imagine you can say that an AI tutor who is helping a student in mathematics. Like I consider my use case, okay, and its goal is just to deliver the lesson, okay, but to ensure that student truly understands concept like algebra or fractions or anything. It adapts approach, offering the practice problem. And practice problems are not the fixed set of questions. It identifies what is the level of this particular student in the particular subject or the chapter, and it creates the practice problem based on that, so that it increases at every step. The learning increases at the every step that is provided to the student or the teacher or anybody who is trying to learn something, and with the problems, with the hints, or even with the real world applications that are there, until the learning outcome is achieved, like what is the benchmark that we wanted to set for the particular student. The third point is proactivity. So uh, this is where agentic AI becomes very interesting, okay, because it doesn't wait for you to act or give some instruction or ask it to do some task, okay. It understands your need based on the interaction that is happening, and it executes it for you for the better end-to-end delivery. Okay, for example, like if I have to travel somewhere and I'm not aware, generally we just thought that it's a long weekend, we should go to that particular place, maybe Goa or any place that we want. But we don't take into the consideration about the weather conditions that are there, or how where we have to stay. We have to plan it everything, okay. So this AI tool can like agent can suggest you the destination based on the condition. Like if I'm planning to go into September, or I'm planning to do into December, it can provide you the suggestions of the destination. It can create an itinerary for you. It can book flights for you. It can recommend you that, okay, this place is going to be cold, so you need to pack something of for minus 20 degrees or minus 8 degrees, so you need to pack it heavy. Or it's going to be a summery time there, and so you need to pack light cotton clothings with you. So everything is suggested to you. In teaching, if you think about productivity, so it can remind students about the kind of that deadline is coming, and like you need to revise something, or you need to prepare about thing. And even it can send notification to teacher that, okay, this particular student was weak into this subject and this assignment is going to come, so if you want, you can take some action to educate that particular person, or check with them that whether their concepts are clear or not. So it helps educators to intervene before the problem actually escalates. And the last part is the adaptability. So agentic AI thrives in changing contexts. Okay, so every day things are changing. Okay, if I have written a code, or if I have written a simple command, given a simple command, next day context might have changed, would have changed, but my system is same. So agentic AI can keep on changing the context based on your need also. A very good example for that is, if I'm not sure, a lot of people are now using OTTs. So one of the example that comes in the OTT is Netflix. So Netflix recommendation is called very accurate based on your need. So it doesn't just go into the direction that if I like watching some suspense thriller movies, it will only recommend me suspense thriller movies. If 2 days after I start liking some comedy movie because my mood is changed because I'm feeling very light or it's a weekend, it will start recommending me comedy movies. Okay. So it keeps on changing the context based on my needs, and it tells me the kind of information or documentaries on anything that I want to see. It adapts based on that. Similarly, if you think about it in the education side, consider a language learning app which is powered by agentic AI. If a student suddenly shifts interest from English grammar or anything else to conversational practice, okay, so the AI adapts a lesson on the spot so that it doesn't have to be redone everything. It just the much learning that you have done in the grammar, it adds it into your next conversational practice, and it adapts the lesson into it and learns the context, and students start performing with their preference and what they want to deliver in the relevant support. So when we put all these four qualities together, the the kind of learning, or you can say the kind of experience that is increased, okay, uh, it becomes very what you can say advanced, accurate, and very beneficial for everybody. Okay, so it's not actually replacing the educators. Okay, it is extending their reach, personalize their learning, and ultimately making the education more efficient and engaging. And that's what it is. Any product, so if I come from a product background, so any product that we create, we want it to be engaging uh, to our users, so that they come back to us, they learn something. If they are liking it, then only they are going to use it. If they're not liking, they're not going to use it. So keeping that in mind, this whole concept works. Now, simply how we can identify whether this particular system is an agentic AI or not. That's the question that came to my mind. So I thought of writing it because there are a lot of tools, lot of portals, platforms that are there. Uh, so there is generative AI, traditional AIs are also there. There is uh, now the agentic AI. So whenever we are talking about agentic AI, okay, these are the few key points that you can think of. So traditionally AI has mostly worked as an automation tool. You give it instruction, it follows them. But agentic AI is different. It behaves more like an your associate, your colleague, who understands what you need, and the systems are capable of more making decisions on their own, learning from the feedbacks, and even anticipating what we need before we ask for them. Now, the learning, whatever is there, is called the reinforced learning, which will be having a kind of playground in our next slide, like how it learns from the feedbacks and from the environment that is there. Okay, so but majorly, like we discussed, like there is autonomy. Agentic AI can function like this whole system is autonomously, like we don't have to give a step-by-step instruction. It acts and takes the initiatives on their own. Okay, it is whatever the goal is given to it, it is able to plan, execute, and all the series of action that like we discuss in the travel booking scenarios. Okay, can it learn and improve, adapting to the changes or unexpected circumstances, like we discussed about the Netflix application, like how it adapts to the user needs. Okay, now whether it is able to solve the multi-step problems or not, because see, any tool is created, it is about the solving a problem. Okay, and anything that we learn are from our problems only. In general life scenarios also, whatever we would have learned from the mistakes that would have made, or any fault that would have done. If we have done something perfectly, if we have done it because we have learned about it in the past from our mistakes or something like that. So whether it is able to solve the problems at the multi-step, not by just like the simple problem statement given. If there some problems come on the fly, it is able to solve it without any intervention from the human or any third party. And like agentic AI is also a scenario where now we are calling the multi-agent model, where an agent can work with different agents, like we work with with our colleagues, sharing information and task and everything. So the best way to use it is that's breaking all the agents into different small parts, and they are interacting with each other, that how this particular task has to be done. Like sending an email is to be done by a particular agent. So this agent transfers that particular task to that agent, that, okay, I've done this task, you can send the email. Now, if in the backend, if there was a booking to be done, then booking was done by a different agent. So an agent is managing all the agents. So that kind of model also can be created if it is exists there. So it's also kind of an agentic AI system. Uh, Please do let me know if I'm going too fast. There are a lot of things to say, so I'm just speaking quickly. But if you want me to go slow, please feel free to let me know in between. All right, so moving to the next thing. So this is the first playground. So this is how a particular agents learn in the environment. So this is a simple maze problem where this particular agent has to reach to the flag mark, which is the end objective. Okay. And it cannot be in the black zone, which is a kind of a wall that we have created, so that it cannot go into that particular wall. Uh, and it also cannot go into this red zone, which is a kind of a dead zone. If you go there, you are dead. So it's, if you can just fit it as a game where this agent has to travel to the flag mark without going into the red mark. Okay. Now, how it identifies is that it starts traveling into different levels. Just a second. Let me, this is also, all right, no problem. All right. So you see on the screen, uh, so there are two paths that we can think of. One is following this direction, and one is following this direction. Okay. So how it identifies like how we should traverse to the path. Right. So sorry. Okay. So there was a Bellman equation, which was there are a lot of equations, although in machine learning and this, but right now I'm just referring to uh, Bellman equation, which basically tells about that which state uh, the agent wants to be next. Okay. So for any taking any step here, what is important is there is a state which is called the current state, which is S. Okay. Not So there is a current state where the agent is right now. Now it has to take an action to move it to the next state. Okay. Now this state can be moving up, moving right. Okay, that's the only two options that are there for the particular agent. Now then there is a reward associated with the move. And that's how anything like when you are training a dog or anything that you're doing, basically this is how we are training to the uh, to kids or to students or to anybody, like there is a reward system there. Like if they get a reward, they think that they have done it correctly, and if they get a feedback, negative feedback, they understand that they have not done it correctly. Okay. And then S dash is the ultimate stage where we want to be, that the next state where we want to be out from the resulting from the action. Okay. And then there is a gamma, which is the discount factor, which reduces the value for the future reward. Okay. So if I say that so if I say that I have to be here into the flag, the best place is to be here. So if I am at this location, this particular place, I know that the next move is I have achieved the end goal. Okay. So which means that it has to follow +1, +1, +1, +1. This route, if it follows, it's the right way to take the path. But if we give the all of them same marking, that it becomes difficult because which route it has to take. So we keep on reducing the discounting. That's what we are using the gamma in our this formula. Gamma is there, which tells us that the discount that we're adding to this particular uh, state. Okay. So if this is plus, and if we have kept our gamma to be zero 0.9, okay, uh, then based on this formula, this state is going to be zero 0.9. Okay, this particular. Now again 0 0.9 into 0 0.9. So we are just calculating based on the reward. Like in this case, we have kept +1, 0, and -1. Okay, -1 is for this one, +1 is for this one, and reward we have kept it for 0. So in this formula, if we see, if we are adding R0 plus gamma is 0.9 and my current state is 0.9, then previous state I can assign it as 0.81. And like that, it keeps on reducing it to 0.73, and this state becomes, I think, 0.6 something into point. So now you know, when if I am here, and it will keep on trying from different routes to identify whether this was the best route or not. So you can think of it as that, okay, now I'm +1, but which is the previous state which I can be? So it's 0.9. Okay, fine. 0.9 is good. 0.9 gives me +1, and +1 gives me the end goal. Now, if I'm in 0.9, which is the previous state which I should be in, so it's 0.8. So this how it keeps on makes a, you can say, a roadmap or a path to reach to the end goal which we have defined for it. Okay, so 0.6 greater than 0.6 is 0.73. Okay, greater than 0.73 is 0.81. Okay, from here to there and there, and we reach the goal. So this is kind of how training is done based on the feedback. And you saw that how the feedback is associated with each and every action that we are taking. So that's how the system that was created to play chess with the expert of the chesses, that's how it was created. But every move, if they are losing a particular pawn, they are losing a point. If they are killing a particular pawn of the opposition party, then they are getting a point. And that's the reward system that is there associated, although it's a digital reward in case of AIs, and in human it's going to be a physical reward. You can think of it in that manner. So this was a kind of a bit technical that I thought that is easy and to play around. And this is called the reinforced learning. And I also gave a reference of this particular reinforced learning, a paper written by one of the researchers in this PPT. And if the PPT is shared with you, you can find it in the last page of the PPT presentation. Now, moving to how agentic AI is different from the traditional AI. Okay, so everything is an AI, but there is a difference because when you are progressing, you are having a differentiator in yourself. That's how it becomes good to understand that what is the basic difference. But there are we can also add a column of generative AI in between, but traditional and agentic, that's what we are going to discuss today. And these are categorized into five parameters, sorry. uh, First is control, which is in traditional AI, control is almost entirely into the uh, user's hand. Like, I will define that what has to be done, and it will execute that particular task for me. Or you can say the automate the task for me. Okay. Now, the system waits for the instruction from the end user who is using it. But with agentic AI, the system uh, takes the partial control, and it can take actions on its own. and start lining with the end goal that was provided to me. So we don't have to give the complete roadmap to achieve the objective. It researches, it understands what is the need, and it starts delivering based on that. Adaption. Second point is adaptation. So traditional AI struggles to adapt because it is the way that's the way it has been programmed. Okay, unless and until we reprogram it to make the changes, like, okay, now this is a particular scenario that is also there. I have to go to a certain place, but there's a lot of traffic into that, but I know only that particular route to go to my destination. So traditionally I will follow the same route always. But if I am an agentic AI, I'll start exploring all the other routes where I can save my time, or there is a lesser traffic, or it will save the fuel, whatever parameters I've said that want to save the fuel or want to save the time, whatever is there. So I that starts exploring all the alternative route and it suggests it. So it keeps on learning from the context and adjusts the behavior that it is having in real time, that we don't even get to know about these changes. Okay. Now, personalization. Personalization is a very important thing. Like, you receive the automated emails in your inbox, okay, which you, after reading, you can think and you can relate that it's just written for the mass. It has been sent to the 1,000 people. The same email has been sent, and there is no personalization into it. But if you think that if you write your email with your emotions into it, or with some context, okay, like I receive many emails which I ignore, but in few emails that, okay, I've read about your work and I've saw your post and this. If you make a reference of it and then you start the interaction, then the other party also believes that, okay, this person has uh, prepared something about me and then it is trying to reach out to me. Okay, so that personalization, traditional AI offers a very limited, or you can say a kind of static uh, personalization. But against that, agentic AI is based on the interaction that is having, based on the information that is having, it learns and it creates a unique, uh, you can say, personalized experience for each and every user. For example, in education, we can think of it as we are trying to teach a lesson to somebody. Okay, now all the students or everybody is not similar in their learning capabilities. Some needs a more time, a more basic or more a story based learning, and few wants the logical based learning. So the personalization that students get to understand about a chapter, in spite of just reading the same book same way, uh, a different manner, a system can be created where a learning path for each and every student based on their interaction and their history of interacting with the application, recommendation, what more they can learn, what more can they can practice, that can be done through using the agentic AI. Next part is the feedback. So traditional AI provides a one-way feedback. Basically, you ask, it answers to you. Okay, but agentic AI g- works on the two-way feedback, like refining itself based on the user responses, preferences, or outcomes. Like, what was the outcome from the previous one? Learn some about that. Even if you would have used the chat GPT, like this is quite in demand these days. So any answer that it puts, they ask for a thumbs up or thumbs down. Basically, they are collecting the feedback whether this answer was relevant or correct or not, or based on your knowledge, because they are expecting that you know something about the topic and you know more about it. So based on that, whether it matches to the requirement or not. So that's how the whole uh, two-way feedback thing also works into refining the whole outcomes. And the last one is the initiative. So traditionally, I are mostly reactive. So if you don't ask them to do something, it will just be idle, like when until the next task come. For example, that if you are created a kind of an Excel where you want this particular Excel has to be processed and an email has to be sent to all the email IDs mentioned in the Excel. Uh, Once that particular Excel is processed by the by AI system, it will sit idle unless and until the next addition is done to the Excel. Okay, but agentic AI, it takes initiative, it suggests actions even when they're not when they're idle. They suggest that okay, now we can do this thing, or they can recommend that okay, can we send the follow-up email after some time. The traditional AI will not do it, but the your agentic AI will ask for you to send a follow-up email after a couple of days, that if they have not received any response with them or not. So in this way, like traditional AI is like a tool you operate, while agentic AI is more like your colleague or associate who collaborates with you, who discusses your ideas and suggests you how we can move forward with that. Now, since we are talking about education domain specifically, so these are the few agentic AI thoughts that I can think of, and I put it here, like personalized learning, adapt, like how we can create a personalized learning experience to the student, like adapt content and roadmap for for them, how effectively they learn, so we can create a pace of it, whether this course can be completed by them in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, individually by each and every student or whoever is trying to learn. And what are the strengths that are required, what is the prerequisites are there, and like that, based on the needs, we can create some solution for that. We can support faculties by making them more efficient, like we can automate the repetitive grading, like mostly if it is done with the paper, we can create the application where the questions are there, and based on the feedback, like answers provided by the students, uh, we can do that. Or the scheduling can be done, reminders can be sent for submitting the course materials. So these whole things that are right now done manually, it can be automated, which can be made more efficient. The system can be made more efficient. Now, the next is engagement. So, unlike static system, agentic AI actively suggests resources. Um, it also prompts challenges and nudges learner uh, to keep learning motivated. So, kind of a, you can think of it as a gaming application, that okay, this part is come, this is the kind of reward that you have achieved. So it makes them more engaging. Like if they liked using the application for learning for themselves, that will be more helpful for them to be engaged with that particular system. So one of our clients, they are based out of US. They are working in the, not for the adults, but for the kids apps. So they are trying to uh, develop something like that to make the learning more engaging on the topics that are there that are complex. So that is one of the uh, engagement is can be think of. Analytics, fourth point is the analytics. So it goes beyond like marks and scores. So it can identify the learning gaps, like which section that particular uh, are the gaps, or can track the progress at the class at the individual level. Like we can have an analytics kind of view, like okay, these many students are good, or segmenting the classroom or the learners based on their capabilities, and create actionable insights for the teachers to fine tune their approach. So this was one of the example that we had a client from the sports domain. So in sports, the athletes have to learn something new, and the coaches are there to make them learn the new techniques or the workouts or anything that they have. So the coaches used to collect the workout and the data of the athletes about their daily what habits, what they are eating, what they are not eating. They have to be logged, and the workout session has ever tracked based on the wearable devices. And that whole data used to be captured into databases, which our team developed into a visual form, analytical form, which they used to go through, and based on their understanding, they used to develop the next plan of action, like what kind of you can say workout has to be planned, or what is the diet chart has to be done for the athletes. So that's how the whole system was done. So similarly, we can implement something for the for learning or the education purpose also. And the last part is the equity. So every classroom has learners from different backgrounds and with different abilities. And agentic AI has a potential to provide tailored support that no student is left behind. For example, that now earlier, most of the courses that are taught, they are taught in English, but I am from Uttar Pradesh, so and it's in the all the state driven and CBSE boards and ICSE boards. So in this CBSE Central Board or the ICSE, mostly the courses are in English, and the state government driven schools, they are mostly taught in the local languages like Hindi or any language that they are. But when you go to any professional degree, it's a big challenge that everything is in English. But if they want to learn in Hindi, the books are it's difficult for them, and it's first challenge that they have to come up with is to understand what is written so that they can think of it and draft answer for based on that. So this is kind of support where agentic AI can convert any material or any course that is there, and now most of the things are online, so they can uh, the whole course material can be drafted into English, Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, whatever language, any language, or any foreign language also, if the students are from outside India. So it can be drafted for them, and everybody can learn on their own language and whichever they are comfortable. Now, before moving to the next section, I want to just play with the tool, and then and later on we can also discuss that what comes to, like, these are the few uh, things that came into my mind, but there are a lot of, I'm not the person who is actually the subject matter expert in through the education. You guys are, so you guys might have some idea that okay, this can be beneficial. You can also share it with me. But there is a simple tool that I'm sharing it with you. You can also go to this particular. So it's an simple. I hope this new screen is visible to everybody. Just confirm me, anybody, if you can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So this particular tool that you're seeing on my screen, it's partyrock.aws. It's Amazon Web Services, free of cost. Anybody can go there. Anybody can register there. And for developing small projects, it's, you can think of it as an AI agent for you. Okay. So before coming to this session, I created two things that I can think of, kind of solutions that might interest you, and you guys can create it on your own. And if okay, let's do one thing.
Old
Third,
screen
third,
is visible.
sorry.
Your old screen is visible?
So you are not seeing Party Rock screen right now?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
it's not
Just give me a
visible.
second. All right, just give me a second. So let me know if this screen is visible now.
Now it is visible, sir.
Okay. So this particular partyrock.ws, which I was selling, is that this is a free of cost tool, open source tool that is developed by AWS, and this is for the kind of if you have something in your mind, if you want to use it, and if you don't see it in the market, you can create it on your own. And it's a very simple thing how it can be created. So we can also try creating something in our next. So we will be having a conversational session in between, but so far we have been doing all the theory. So I thought of just showing it to you how it works into the technology. Okay. So these are the two you can see recently viewed apps: AI Tutor and CourseForge. Okay. So what this tool does is, first of all, I'll show you CourseForge. So this tool can create uh, a complete course outline with the lessons that you want to share with your students with practice questions. Okay. And from any blog that you read on the internet. So if you, let's say, that blog on agentic AI, I'm just searching on Google right now, and whatever I'll get. Okay. I got a good blog that I have listed in the uh, in our this PPT also. I'll just copy it, the content from the blog, and I'll try to paste it here. And let's see what it is. There are a few images also which will not come definitely, but still. It's a long one. Okay. So I've copied the content and I'm just pasting it here. Okay. So now when you, and this is the kind of education level. So I'm putting it for graduate. Okay. So so we are drafting this particular course from this blog for graduate education level people. Okay. So I'll just create on generate, and it is generating now. I hope this works. Okay, so you can see that course outline is created. In spite of going through the complete blog, whichever in section is kind of in my interest, introduction to agentic AI, a definition and key characteristic comparison with the traditional generative, importance of generative AI in modern enterprises. Then the second topic will be AI architecture and components, single agent system and multi-agent systems, agentic AI in action, implementing agentic AI challenges and constellation. So a lot of topics are there that you can refer. Now for the lesson content, you can see there is a detailed lesson also. And practice questions, here are 5 graduate levels. So multi-choice questions that are there with answer like question, which of the following best describe the key difference between uh, prescriptive knowledge agents and generative information retrieval agents. So this is the advanced topic, I believe. So there are few options, and the answer is one is designed for highly regulated environment, which strictly compliance requirement by law. So you can see that the whole session is created, and if you want, we can do more refinement into this. So one of the example of how this whole thing can be done, and we can just keep on copying pasting blogs from different places, and we can create your content. We can copy them to Word document. We can convert PDF, and we can share it with the students. Similarly, the second tool was mostly AI age tutor. So based on the question that I ask, it will first identify that whether I'm a beginner level or I'm a advanced level student. Okay, and it will draft the further Q&A. So it's a basically Q&A based solution. So I will ask a question. It will analyze my response. Then it will create that what is my level, and based on that it can start the communication with me. So for example, this was a kind of advanced topic document, so I'll just copy something from it, and I'll just ask it just a sec. So I'll ask agentic AI, what are you agentic AI use cases for education? Okay. Now, this is my question. Based on that, rating 2.5, 2 out of 5. Explanation the question was basic familiarity with AI terminology. Last time I asked it question, it graded me 1 out of 5. So I was a beginner. This time I asked the question, which it considers me as a basic familiarity with AI agent. So now we can start the discussion. Question, I'm ready to help you with learn with the generative AI at the pace that suits understanding. Let's begin our discussion. So we can start asking questions from this particular chatbot, and it will respond me based on what he understand my level is. If I ask more complex question with it, it might consider me at the next level, and it will start responding me to that particular level. So this is a good tool. I would recommend that everybody can play around with it after the call whenever they get time, and they can leverage the how the open source technologies can also help us in doing something in the free time. Right. So coming back, just I'll reshare the presentation screen. All right. So I hope my original screen is visible again.
Yes, sir.
All right. So key features in educational setting. So adaptive assessment, like we have discussed in our earlier slides, like adaptive assessments, AI tutors and mentors. One of the example I showed you, AI tutor, how it can be done. Uh, Intelligent class management, or like uh, automating the whole individual learning. Like AI agents can help teachers too. So it can automatically form balanced group based on the skill levels, like suggest collaborative projects. Like, okay, these three people can work together on particular project. One of them can be a good student, one can be a bit average student, and they collaboratively can work together so that they learn from the experience and ensure that every student has a role to support to their growth. So this is how we can plan the intelligent class management also. And the predictive analytics, like we have discussed in the previous slide, like how it can tell you that this student has not done something good in the previous session, so we can add more, give more learning experience to them, like how they can learn about the particular topic or where they are struggling. And we can even, it can even guide from the curriculum adjustment that can be done so that the teaching stays relevant and effective. So over the period of time, every like uh, the the artificial learning topic, artificial intelligence topic is evolved over a lot of time. So the same books, same content, same material might not be relevant. And now, since after the whole technology stack based on the AI development has happened in the past 5 years, okay, so the curve of the curriculum has to be evolving along with that. So it can recommend also that, so that the students are prepared for the what is there in the market coming in the future for them. Now, there are few good tools that are created, okay, that are there right now live for the education based on the agentic AI concept. One is the cognitive tutor, and it's a math learning platform with the adaptive problem sequences. Similarly, that we discussed that a simple question, if we are able to answer it, it will keep on adding the complexity. And it helps, it has shown that based on the data provided by them, 15 to 30% improvement in the learning outcome has happened. Similarly, Squirrel AI, it's an AI learning solution again. Uh, so it's based out in China, and adaptive tutoring for exam preparation in China, and provides personalized questions. Take strength and weakness. It identifies based on the Q&A or from the questionnaire that are provided, and it suggests the topic for improvement, how they can improve it, and like that. Similarly, third solution is Century Tech, which is a UK-based platform for kindergarten to 12th, and it generates individual learning pathways and reports insight to the teachers. And it is now being used in 300 plus schools in different places. And the one of the client that I was talking about, so they are also Yeti, my friend. Their solution is True, TROO. It's there in the app stores also, but there is their solution is more of I think 3 to 7 years kids range, and they are also introducing some good insightful learning and generative AI and how feedback based mechanism to make the learning for the kids more advanced with a limited screen time to be given to them. Now I'm sharing this URL again, which is basically the kind of thoughts that you have in what kind of solutions should be there, and that definitely helps me also to understand that what is there in the demand in the market, or what's there in the mind of the actual people who are serving the education domain. So I'm just sharing the link for that. You can answer that in the similar format like we have just answered the question that I put in earlier, and we can discuss on that with few of us. Just posting it onto the chat. Yeah, so I've posted the URL, and please feel free to submit your responses, the use cases that you think are relevant and uh, should be entertained by anyone in the industry, and that you want to entertain yourself by help supporting by getting some support from the solutions that are there in the market or from the companies. Right. So uh, let's check the responses. So we've received 4 responses: Dr. Rajni, Vikas Sharma, Dr. Shalini Sinha, and Bhavika Panchal. Go for the individual responses. So Dr. Rajni has said that student assessment, understanding learning pattern or capacity of student according to that guide student to get better. Yes, that's a very valid topic. And we also mentioned that it can be a good use case. Building AI agent. Vikas Sharma said that building AI agent wisdom. So mostly that's wisdom part is getting added. I think mostly in the AIs now. Dr. Shalini Sinha has said that to identify the slow learners and create interesting and easy content for them to catch up. Yes, so personalized learning is a part of what we also think. Create a course outline according to education level, Bhavika Panchal. So, Bhavika, you can try the AWS that solution that I showed to you, and I think that's the similar thing that we like. I created. It's a simple command-based prompt, and I'll show how you guys can also create. If we can think something that can create. I'm just checking all the responses. Shobha Anjali, he has written, I would use agentic AI to provide personalized learning support that adapts to each student pace. The personalized learning part, I don't think Party Rock can create right now. Nikita Shetty to prepare question bank. So question bank, yes, and that can be used. This solve the challenge for providing individual attention in large classroom while saving teachers time for meaningful interaction. So I think most of the topics that are shared by everyone, Dr. Malika Srivastav just responded, we can leverage it to provide MBA students with adaptive real-time and experimental learning opportunities that which is. So most of the feedback that I see are based out of what you think also is a personalized kind of uh, an environment, a solution that based on the interaction with the students, identifies them and creates the roadmap for their learning. Okay, so it's it's not something that I think this tool can create, but I'll just show how I created it so that you guys can try later on. Okay, it's not a difficult thing. I'll just reshare my screen. Okay. So let me know if my screen is visible again.
Yes, sir. Your Google form is visible.
Okay, Google Form.
Yes, sir. Party Rock.
Party Rock.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you see here, generate an app. So you just have to sign up to this platform, and you have to click on generate an app. Okay, and you can just put a prompt here that create an application that can create course material with Q&A and reference links from a PDF or Word document. Okay, so earlier I created a project on this tool, which was I have to copy paste the content of the blog and paste it to this particular my tool, and it will create the complete course outline. Now I'm trying to create something similar, like create an application that can create course material with Q&A and reference links from a PDF or Word document. So it's not going to be a blog, it's going to be a PDF attachment. So from the attachment. So let's see if it can create it. And just write a prompt, click on create app, and it starts creating it. So create course material generator, introduction, course document, subject area, content analysis, practice area, answer key, reference links, course material assistant, and it's done. So I'll just have to now upload this document here, any document that I have related to the um, learning, and it will just, and so advanced mathematics Word document, which topic is this related to, then the content analysis, and it will generate the practice questions, answer keys, reference link, and everything, course material assessment. And it can also ask a Q&A. So this is how simple it is to create something, and that is there in your mind. Okay, so you can try it later on. And now we have a very limited time, so I'll just finish it. What is left from my side, and maybe we can have some Q&A also. So I'll just reshare my screen. So let me know if my PPT screen is again visible.
Yes, sir.
On the discussion page. Okay. So basically, two things quickly, I'll summarize this. Okay. Uh, Playground we have already done. So, and this is the URLs that I was talking about. So, uh, ethical consideration, like anything that you create. So now, if we are capturing any information of the students or any third party or anybody, it becomes very important that we keep the data safe. So whatever you try to create, make sure that the data security is there, because data breach, and now based as we are evolving in terms of the AI technologies, the miscreants are also evolving with on how they can access the data. And since we don't have the understanding of how data security and data privacy works, so please make sure that anything that you create is under the regulation, and you are protecting your information of the users from any kind of breach. Okay. Second thing is that anything that you create, okay, it should be free from bias, and it is not enforcing any particular thought that you have in mind. It should be generalized. It should be not driven to a particular thought or a particular perspective. That things should be open to the all the perspective, that it is giving an generalized opinion, not biased for any particular thing. And any algorithm that you're using, okay, make sure that if you're not using any you can say trademarked or anybody's intellectual property, because initially with GPT it was seen that it was accessing the private information from different documents that were accessible, and it was made public. So that was kind of a issue for everybody. Human role, teachers are guides, so just make sure that they are followed in that manner, and access active collaboration between teacher and AI agent to enhance learning. Okay, so that should be the role. It should not go beyond any kind of accessing in sensitive data and sharing it with any third party. And the cost has to be considered, because when we think of creating something, we forget about the cost involved in it, because we think that our idea is very good. So what is going to be the cost? We have to evaluate that from the platform like AWS or any platform that we are using, thinking the cost can go to any level without like that we cannot even imagine. Okay, so that will become a problem for anybody in later point. Now, implementation strategy is something like start small with a small pilot. Like when as a product from product background, based on my experience, I'll tell you that whenever we try to launch a product, we go with the minimum features, what we call the minimum viable product. And with these minimum features, we try to take the feedback from the market, and based on that, we streamline our further roadmap that whether this feature would be required in the future or not, because what we think is required by the user might not be that big feature, and what we were ignoring might be the biggest differentiator from the other competitors. So we have to think about it, start small, go to the market and start taking the responses. So pilot program, um, small subjects, a certain classes, or with a small group of students, you can start with that. Um, Professional development. So whenever you go for a professional, so train teacher on AI basics, ethics, and use cases, and based on that, they can evolve into that direction. Feedback loop. So regular student and teacher feedback should be there, so that whatever you are creating is usable for the teachers or the students or any for whomsoever you are creating. You are taking the feedback so that your product is not uh, what was not required in the market. Okay, stakeholder engagement. So if you are developing from a college perspective, so take your uh, administrator, administrative department into loop, parents, students, everybody into the decision making, so that everybody is aware that what we are trying to create here. Okay, an ethical framework. So developing anything should be based on the guideline, and that it is for responsible use and transparency should be there. So that's how you can create a good system. So that's I will leave it with that. If you have any questions, we have 5 minutes. We can discuss on that now.
Thanks. Sir, there is a question from Dr. Rajni. Please suggest any existing agentic AI tools for teacher to use in education.
Okay, so I think I shared a few tools that are there, which people are using in India. Few there are not exactly the tools. So three tools that I mentioned in my PPT: Cognitive Tutor, Squirrel AI, and Century Tech. Okay, but if you want to use something, like there are a lot of ways of mostly that I can think of is that right now creating a document from the course material is something that can be done using the GPTs or anything. So you can upload your thoughts or something, and it will convert into a good outline document that you can share it with your students and they can learn. And like that, it can evolve. But in India, I think things are more evolving right now. So no specific tool is there, but three tools that I found good. So I've mentioned my PPT: Cognitive Tutors, Squirrel AI, and Century Tech.
Sir, now our next question is from Ravi Kumar. Can agentic AI help in detecting and addressing students' disengagement in online classes?
Yes. So basically any tool agentic AI works on the basis of data. Okay, so whether the student are learning in the class or they are not learning in the class, they are not focusing. So two ways are there. So one is that right now the camera is on. So the agents can monitor your camera based on the emotion, whether you are looking into the screen or you are sleeping. How it is done in the this ADAS systems in the cars these days, that whether drowsiness test check is there. Similarly, they can check your pattern on the video. If there is no video in the call, you can base track on the basis of the if it is you are using a platform. So it can track clicks on the screens, whether it is whether they are scrolling, learning, and answering question, or they have just opened their window and they are not there in the class. So that can also be tracked based on the event data that we call that whether this person has clicked on the mouse, has entered a keystroke or not. So these all things are there to capture that through which you can like agentic AI can identify. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your such an insightful session on using AI agents in education. Your expertise in technology and strategy and innovation has given a deeper understanding of our how AI can rephase education practice and create more engaging, personalized learning and environments. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you and good luck to everybody. And I wish you all the best. And I'll share the PPT with you, final version. There might be few changes that you can circulate. And if anybody want to reach out to me for any question, my email ID is there in the PPT, so they can feel free to reach out. And whatever information I can provide, I'll be helpful for that.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Dear participants, we will come back in 2 minutes. Okay. For the next session. Stay tuned.